video es presentado por el Sistema Ciencia Garza Educativa de la Universidad Autónoma del Estado de Hidalgo. Para mayor información, visítanos en www.uaeh.edu.mx. Gracias por aprender.
Hello, my name is Lidy Susana Cortés Fernández. I am a teacher at Preparatoria número 4. And today's topic is about zero conditional that comes in the syllabus of English A2.2. So let's begin with the topic. Well, the zero conditional, it is used for facts that are generally true and do not change. So they are like scientific facts. So that's why I use this image, facts first. So what is the structure of the zero conditional? Well, the conditionals have two types of sentences or clauses. We can make a zero conditional sentence with two present simple verbs. One in the if clause and the other one in the main clause. So for example, here I have some sentences and it says, if you leave ice in the sun, it melts. So what happens when you leave ice in the sun? It melts. That is a scientific fact. If you take a fish out of the water, it dies. If you don't water the plants, they die. So these are all sentences that are true. They won't change. So as you can see, you have an if clause, a sentence that starts with this word if, and then you have what is the result or the result of what happens when you use this condition. So these are the basics. There are two types of zero conditional. When you start with if and when the if comes in the middle. The first one is the most common. It says if plus the condition and then the result. If you leave ice in the sun, it melts. The condition is if you leave ice under the sun, that is why it begins with if. And then the result, you are not going to use the ice again. You are going to substitute it with a pronoun that in this case is it. So you just say it melts. You don't have to use two words or the same words in the same sentence. So this is why when you use if at the beginning, you have to use a comma before the result. On the contrary, when you start with that result, the if comes in the middle of the sentence. So this is when we change the order of all the conditional. The main clause will be the result, and then the condition will come next. How are we going to do this? To change, if you leave ice in the sun, it melts. The opposite would be ice melts if you leave it in the sun. So you start with the result and then you continue with the condition. And here, if you can notice, there is no comma. In the previous one, when we start with if, we have to use the comma to separate the two clauses. Here, we don't use it. Another way of using a zero conditional is when you use when. You can substitute these two words, if for when or when for if. So, for example, I have here some sentences and it says, if you keep milk in the fridge, it lasts longer. I can change it and it says, when you keep milk in the fridge, it lasts longer. And it is the same meaning. This also works with the previous explanation. You can also put or place when in the middle of the sentence, and it is going to be the same. you are not going to use a comma because when comes in the middle, not at the beginning. When comes at the beginning of the sentence, then you are going to use a comma. So we have more examples. If you leave ice in the sun, it melts. When you leave ice in the sun, it melts. There is no zero conditional, no? For example, I can say also, when you don't water the plants, they die. This is another example of how to use when or how to use if. So if you want more practice, there are a few websites here. I add 5. And there you can have more practice about this topic. And these exercises have an answer key, so you can check what are your mistakes. And just to remember, these are sentences that are always true. So I hope you find this useful, and this is everything for today. We'll see you next time. Thank you.